On today's episode, this is Real World Plumbing, where we do real jobs and real shit happens. So we have an ABS pipe that cracked. It was a kitchen drain that was leaking. I could not find my socket saver tool, so first I tried to pry the pipe out of the fitting. When I couldn't do that, I tried to pry the fitting off of the pipe and ultimately wound up snapping the thing inside of the wall. It turned out to be vented with the laundry, so I had to find it. And between walking back and forth between here and the basement 10 times, I determined that I was going to be able to take this stove out, and there should be a panel or something there, and I can probably get behind these cabinets, and if the line is inside of the wall there, then I can get access to the line. Now, at this point, we've already been here a long time. We're frustrated. We're smashing shit with our hands. It's just the way that it goes. I cut off the piece that I snapped off, and then I went down the basement, gave a little haircut to the pipe. I would have liked to change more pipe in here because I hate ABS. ABS sucks. Especially on kitchen drains, it always winds up cracking or bowing. If it was a much longer line, this probably would have bowed. But I'm going to replace it with PVC because why would I put a shittier pipe just to match the color scheme, you know? Now, this is one of these things that in the grand scheme of things, I'm charging a lot of money, and realistically, I'm just putting a couple of plastic pipes together with some glue and some primer. But I think this is a good example of why I'm worth more money to glue a plastic pipe together than you are. Because when I fuck it up, I know what to do next. So it's like when guys say that you're not paying for the hours that I'm on the job, you're paying for the years that it took me to learn it. It's not bullshit, but that just sounds corny as hell, and I feel like it's just an elitist comment. There was an old journeyman used to say to me, every time I got smart with him and act like I knew what I was talking about, he'd say, listen, kid, I failed more times than you've tried. But anyway. All right, come with me for another day as a New Jersey service plumber. I got my Quick Check coffee, and this message is brought to you by Quick Check. It's bad form to leave your truck at a gas pump while you go and take a poop for 30 minutes. At least that was the message they relayed to me. I'm guessing they meant for me to relay it to you. So our first call, we got a train furnace. They said it smells like burnt toast. That's how the call came in. Smells like burnt toast. Looked over everything, and over the course of the time when I'm working, the customer said that when I pulled the filter out, it stopped smelling like burnt toast. I said, okay, go ahead, get a new filter. $80 in the bag, guys. Next call, we got a service on a boiler. We put this in, or I shouldn't say we because I wouldn't have did it like this. And basically, this is one free service that came with the installation. They wanted me to train another guy on how to do these, so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. You got to see the writing on the wall. Once you start making a lot of money in a place, they start trying to get you to train other people to do your job. So, yeah, don't fall for that. You need to position the sharing of knowledge to when it will benefit you most. I actually learned that from Dan Holohan. I learned just about everything I know from Dan Holohan about everything. It's probably the only person in the world I listen to. Now I have to take this special breathalyzer test whenever I'm working on heating systems. And this boiler is so oversized, I can't even run it long enough in test mode to get a reading on it. So after the other guy left with all his newfound knowledge, the customer explained to me that he'd been having an issue with the showers, that they never really got hot after the new system was installed, and that a bunch of people from our company had been out to try to fix it. I went down to the crawl space because I already know what the problem is, but I wasn't able to locate where exactly the issue was. I was just able to find a bunch of PEX and stuff like that from the remodel. I shut the hot water off, and with the hot water shut off to the boiler, we have full flow to our fixtures. It's actually really common to find out when you got on-demand water heaters. Anyway, next stop is Burger King, guys. There's something really special going on at Burger King. I don't know what it is, but you guys just need to be made aware of it. So anyway, next call, we got a no heat. Most of the systems that I've been working on lately have just been working perfectly fine. This one actually has a problem, but it's a really minor problem. It turns on and shuts right back off. So I'm going to take the flame sensor out. I'm going to clean it with a George Washington. It was just his birthday, and we celebrated it by leaving my kids home from school. And now this thing's burning perfectly fine. So we'll move on. We got another $80 in the bag, get a 7 exclusive, and we're on our way home. Anyway, see you on the next one. The first rule of plumbing is shit rolls downhill. Second rule of plumbing is sometimes that shit winds up on your basement floor. Third rule of plumbing is don't chew your fingers. And the fourth rule is if you call ServPro on a Friday to come clean the shit out of the basement, it's still going to be there on Monday when you get back. Now check it out. This is going to be the saddest moment you're ever going to experience in your life. I used the hole saw trick to get the lead out of this hub. And then at this very moment, the worst thing that could have happened. But it actually broke off really clean, so it looks like I got enough space on there to put a no hub. I'll clean this thing up, and look at that. That's actually a perfect fit. Maybe not the fit that God intended, but who's to say it's not perfect because of that? You people are just so judgmental, honestly. So anyway, I'm going to be connecting this up to the kitchen drain. I don't know if you saw it before. It was a TY there instead of a Y. It was also horribly back-pitched. In my travels throughout the rest of the house, I came to find that this is going to be the only pitched drain on the entire property. In fact, it may be the only properly pitched drain in the entire neighborhood. So how about that? So as you can see, I'm using a Weld-On glue and primer. I'm the new Weld-On ambassador after Odie blew me off. The customer's wife actually mentioned that this primer was a finer shade of purple than the primer that she had seen in the past, so that was something. I got creative with this standpipe. That wasn't like that before, but I figured that would be cool like that now. Everybody else gets to be creative around here. Why can't I? I'm putting in a Studer vent because none of this was vented before, and I got to tie in a lavatory. You're going to see what that looks like in a minute, because ultimately this lavatory was way too close to the ground. I had to drain it out. I don't know what I was using a bucket for. There's 2 inches of shit water all over the ground. But strangely enough, it wound up looking okay. Not the water coming out of the sink, but the drains. And so we got that buttoned up, and look at that. Professional. You like that coupling on top of there, right? Anyway, leave all my trash for Surf Pro, because fuck them. And we're out of here, baby. Don't forget, payday's Friday. All right, on today's episode is drain cleaning plumbing. I don't know. I don't know that anybody really cares about my opinion. All I know is as long as I've been a plumber, I've been doing drain cleaning. And you know what? It's good money for me. And I think that drain cleaning, more than anything else, brings the most price complaints until the customer actually sees the job that you're doing. Regardless of whether you think it's plumbing, this shit is gnarly, dude. The black grease that comes out of these pipes is insidious. It's disgusting. It gets all over everything, including you. I mean, look at that. You want your face to look like that? Go ahead and grab yourself a snake from Home Depot, big guy. Have at it. All the idiots in my comments are always saying, anybody could do that job. Yeah, it doesn't mean they want to. I've seen grown men throw up in their mouth from their kid's dirty diaper. Imagine doing this for a living. But that's also why plumbers make better fathers. I'm just saying. Little tech tip. Run some laundry detergent through the pipe with your snake in there to clean it off. I'm not going to tell you how I got this clean, but I got it mostly clean. That's just good housekeeping. Anyway, that's how you make 515 minutes or whatever. See you on the next one. All right, on today's episode, here's how you make $500 in 15 minutes. And nothing about this ever winds up being 15 minutes. You know, I just say that stuff to get your attention. But anyway, I'm working on this toilet from 1931. And I'm going to be putting in this curtain rotary ball cock. This is the only ball cock that I was able to find that looked anything like the one that was in there originally. And you can see we got a water line tied in through the top of the tank. Tank is hanging on the wall. It's an old toilet. It's the way they did this. Now, it can be really tricky working on these things because, you know, you always run the risk that something could break or it might not work. And I'm going to have to go and turn around and go and tell the customer that, you know, I'm going home because my toilet works. And there was like a piece of packing material or something inside of here. It was driving me nuts. The thing was not working. And the whole time I was screwing with it, I was flushing the toilet, filling up 7 gallons and flushing it again. And I hadn't really taken into consideration that there could be a leaking wax seal under here because it hasn't been flushed in, you know, probably 5 years. Or maybe a drain, but I guess I got to pull the toilet and see. All right, in today's episode, we're going to take apart this kitchenette so this customer can rent his house. This is a high-quality install, definitely passed inspection. I don't know about you guys, but every time I'm waiting for the water to drain out of the lowest fixture in the house, I always got to pee really bad. I don't know if that happens to other people, but something about shutting the water off and listening to the sink dribble for 15 minutes. So anyway, we started pulling some cabinets out, and we took this backsplash off, and somebody speckled this wall with some black paint. I don't know what that's all about. Don't tell the insurance company. And I'm just ripping this whole thing apart. It's all going in the garbage. We could probably get like $5,000 or $10,000 on Facebook Market for it, but I think we're going to throw it out for now. We cut this wall out so I can get access to the pipe. There's no vent. That makes my life a whole lot easier. Now, check it out. Here's a steam guy trick. You cut this fitting off of here. We're going to cut it right along the threads, and then I'm going to put a chisel in there and pop it. It's going to pop right off the threads. You'll be able to take it off with a pair of channel locks. Look at that. Like butter. Now, I think that's about as close as we're going to get that to the floor, and we're just going to put a cap on it. Remember, there's no such thing as too much pipe dope. A lot of people try to tell you some crap like that. It's not true. Anyway, now I got to cap these water lines. They're the lowest water lines in the entire house, which makes it pretty annoying to solder fitting on there. And I was recently diagnosed with a low tolerance for bullshit. So for my own health and safety, I just went ahead and pro-pressed it. Now, check this out. I'm going to put some straps on. If you need some screws, there was some from the sheetrock. If my boss saw me do that, I would be instantly promoted. He don't give a shit about the $1 million a year I make him. He only cares about how I saved him 10 cents today. Last thing to do is cap a couple gas lines. We're looking to just sheetrock across this wall like it never happened. We cap one more for a grill, we test it out. That's it.
Wow, Lay.
You hitting your round?
You're doing so good.
I love the strokes. That is good.
I definitely like that pattern that you're going with.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
Toes in here.